Reunion, 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 reunion.
Get your EpiPens ready. Get them ready. Thank you, Jessica, for that one.
Alright everyone, today's the day. It's finally time to talk about the Trevor in the room. No, seriously, at the reunion they actually put Trevor in his own little separate room and they have a countdown. They have a timer. What's that leading to? What's gonna happen to Trevor? Look, I know he turned out to not be such a great guy, but they didn't need to put him in solitary confinement. Was there some sort of Love is Blind committee that determined he's such a douche that he should just be banished to the pods forever? Trevor had fooled a lot of people, including Chelsea, right up until the moment of the reunion. Even when everyone got together at the end of the season, he still showed up in character, douching it up.
Chelsea dog.
Oh.
Did he just call her Chelsea dog?
I'm gonna come back to you, all right?
You were the second I got my phone, Chelsea Blackwell.
Did you?
Yeah. Of course.
Of course.
You were the
You can tell that he's just trying to think of what she wants to hear. And for now, it's working because Chelsea seems to be regretting her decision a little bit. She's flattered that she was the first one he looked up on Instagram after the show. I guess that's supposed to be cute. That's where the bar is.
second I got my phone, Chelsea Blackwell.
Did you?
Yeah.
The second I got my phone, Instagram at Chelsea Dog. Follow, like, favorite, subscribe, comment.
Why would I not? Is this how we act?
Yeah. You're my type.
Oh my god, is this how we act? This is so us. Dude, all you did was follow her on Instagram or look at her Instagram or something, and then you guys both started laughing.
And he knows that. It is what it is.
Thanks.
Respectfully.
Yeah. Did you hear I bawled my fucking eyes out?
I'm really sorry.
Yo, Chelsea Dog, did you hear I like bawled my eyes out and stuff? Cause I'm like all in touch with my emotions. After you rejected me, I went home and chopped off my mullet while crying in the mirror. I can't even just watch The Notebook anymore without breaking down into tears and then recording it and putting it on Instagram and hoping that you'll see it.
But your decision doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't mean it was
You're getting called out,
a wrong
Chelsea Dog.
decision.
I fell for two people, and
That's what this is all about.
it is.
Is that what this is all about? I thought it was about just finding one person. I like totally fell for Chelsea Dog and Jess Dog, and if Jim Dog isn't cool with it, then that's his problem. So babe, you want to hit up the Olive Garden tonight, 7:30?
I think I asked this question in there, but I'm gonna ask it again.
Okay.
Oh god.
If orders were switched and I went first,
Yeah.
would there be a different outcome?
I don't know why he's so hung up on this. He's brought this up multiple times. For some reason, he thinks that if he confessed his love before Jimmy, then things would have been different. If the answer to that is yes, is that supposed to make him feel better? It's not really a good sign if the person that she decides to be with for the rest of her life is changing just depending on the order they went.
There wouldn't have been, just because Jimmy and I
You
had a
have to say
conversation.
that to be a good person.
Wow.
No, I know.
No.
There's a lot of emotions.
I hope you do know, like,
So many
you were
emotions.
my number one up until,
Up until the last day when I wasn't.
yeah.
Okay. So that kind of does make it sound like it just depended on the order. He was the number one until Jimmy swooped in at the last second, and what did he do? He didn't do anything different than what he was doing the whole time. I think if Trevor had gone first, he probably would have been able to manipulate her into a relationship. And now I think Trevor just wants her to feel guilty about not choosing him.
You know, I care about you, and I hope you do know, like, there was no question of how I felt about you. Like,
Yeah.
I did love you, and,
Weird.
and I do love you. I think you're amazing, and
She just said, I do love you. What is this? What are we talking about? You love him now? You're with Jimmy. What happened to Jimmy? What happened to the whole relationship? What happened to that god-awful disaster? I thought you loved him with your whole heart, all your heart.
I love him with all my heart.
Thank
Seeing you and talking to you is really nice for me. I feel like life with you would be really fun, and I feel like you would give me so much love,
Go on.
and you were giving that to me.
Yeah.
And
Chelsea could not have been more wrong about this guy, and as big of a disaster as her relationship with Jimmy is, it would have been even worse with Trevor. And it's hilarious that she thinks that she and Trevor would have a great life together. Like, at this point, you think that she would know. You can't tell all of that just from the pods. So next, Chelsea starts to tell Trevor about the argument that she and Jimmy just had.
we had an argument, and I kind of just played it into him, and how I delivered it. It's
Oh,
not
so
my character.
you were in the wrong.
I was in the wrong. Well.
Oh, what's on your mind,
Maybe.
Chelsea
It wouldn't be
Dog?
an argument if you thought you
Yeah.
were 100% in the wrong.
Yeah,
You were just
yeah.
admit I'm wrong.
You can see a little glimmer in Trevor's eye as he realizes this may be his time. He's gonna be like, listen, Chelsea, everything you're saying is right, and everything Jimmy is saying is wrong. Now, how about that Olive Garden? You didn't really say anything about that when I brought it up.
It's been hard to not think of you sometimes. I got everything I needed from you every single day.
Oh, I know.
So she's saying that she got everything she needed from Trevor in the pods, but she also got that from Jimmy. That's not what real life is. They are aware that there's a life outside of the pods, right? Sometimes I forget. Do they know about like responsibilities and, you know, anything that might make a relationship difficult?
I wish we could play out both scenarios because like I want to like know my brain.
I don't.
With either outcome of like,
Yeah.
because you're attractive.
Hey, there's no reason that you both can't know both outcomes. Just give it a week and see how wrong you are. Hey, Chelsea dog, my fiance's coming over tonight. You think you could make us some nachos? Did I not mention I have a fiance? That's like a whole thing, you know. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Isn't it weird to like depict if you just think the person's attractive because you really like them?
What?
Or like if you had never met them,
Yeah.
would you still think
Yeah.
they're attractive?
You know what, Trevor? I never really thought about it like that, but since you put it that way, it's like my whole heart is burning with passion. You should be like a professional philosopher at this point because you have a way with words. So then Jimmy comes over and Trevor's like, oh, this is awkward. You know what would make this less awkward, Jimmy? Why don't you come over here and give me a kiss on the cheek?
I do love you. I love you, bro.
So then next is the reunion, which is basically just this show's version of a tell-all. And on this episode, Trevor is a completely different person. I have never seen an implosion quite like this. It turns out that Trevor had a girlfriend this entire time. Actually, a fiance, I think, because he was telling her that he was going to get married to her and that he was in love with her throughout the whole thing. When all of this is presented to him, he basically has nothing to say. He doesn't have an excuse ready. He's pretty much just like, oh shit, what's my line again? What should I say to look like a good person? Come on, somebody help me out here. Chelsea dog, you're leaving me hanging here, huh?
Well, guys, one of the biggest scandals to break since this season premiered involves our next guest. Join me in welcoming the mullet man himself. Baby.
Damn, Trev!
He looks so stiff walking out. He has the same form as Bigfoot. The twinkle in his eye is back again, but only this time I think it's just because he's about to shed a single tear because he knows he's not going to have any more women sliding into his DMs after this episode. I guess he came out here to try to salvage his public image, but he put himself on autopilot mode. He must be using the remote from the movie Click. I was going to compare him to an NPC, but I think that would be giving him too much credit. It's more like an underdeveloped NPC, you know? It's like, yes, it can move and walk around awkwardly, but most of what it says is not going to make any sense, and it's not fully voiced yet.
When the season premiered, people were posting, "Protect Trevor at all costs," and "If anyone hurts Trevor, they're dead to me."
Yeah.
Then something came out that shocked everyone.
It's really funny they say that because this is probably one of the least shocking things on the show. I think Trevor was the very first person they introduced because the first thing I wrote in my notes is Trevor's a douche. That's the first thing written down. I honestly thought he was supposed to be on F-Boy Island, but he just accidentally stumbled onto the wrong set. Everything about him was rehearsed and performative all the way down to the mullet.
Screenshots came out on the internet, which were allegedly between you, Trevor, and the girlfriend that you had at the same time that you were participating in this experiment.
So you'd think at this point he'd be like, okay, but it's not what you think, and try to explain what really happened or come up with some sort of BS excuse. But instead he picks a different strategy, which is just pretending that it's his first day on this planet and that he has no idea what anything is. There's a few points where he almost directly asks for somebody to tell him what to say.
You were texting her as you were traveling here and as soon as you left the pods. I love you so much, honey. I'm excited for it, but more excited to get back to you after and start our life together.
So based on this text, it looks like they both agreed on this, which is really weird. Either that or he like pressured her into agreeing to it. At this point, I have no idea what Trevor's actual plans were or if he's just really, really dumb. And as this continues, you'll see that he almost doesn't even consider this to be real life.
She responded with, "Did you land?"
Trevor responded, just did.
Oh, Trevor.
Then, skipping to when you left the pods, you again wrote, do you still love me?
He knows he's caught and the jig is up. If we weren't already convinced of Trevor's guilt, here he is making the guiltiest face you can possibly make.
She says, "Pumpkin?"
Pumpkin.
I'm crying.
Trevor then says, can I call you in 30 minutes?
She said, "I missed you so much."
Trevor wrote, I love you more than anything in this world, and I'm going to marry you.
So what was the purpose of all of this? Was he just on this show for clout? Trevor's over here acting like the villain at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode. It's like, oh, it's him all along, of course. There's really nothing he can say to make himself look better here. He should just get up and run away.
Trevor says, I hope you know how much I love you, and had to pretend that this wasn't real life to say anything I said.
She responds with, "It's okay, pumpkin."
Yo, Chels dog, will you be my pumpkin?
Now, Trevor, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, me
Certainly
too.
a lot to unpack there.
All right, I didn't want to have to say this, but I guess I'm gonna have to in order to set the record straight. I'm a time traveler. What you're seeing is a conversation from the future, so you're judging me based on something that hasn't even happened yet. Now, if that was Trevor's explanation, that would have made a lot more sense than what he does say.
What you have to say about that?
Nah, say it with your chest.
Quiet, I'm thinking. Why is everybody looking at me? Wait, did somebody ask me a question? All right, I've made a decision. I would like to phone a friend. I'll use the phone a friend. Actually, you know what? I'll go with the 50-50. Let's get 2 answers off the board right now. $1 million question. Let's open the briefcase. Here we go. Trevor, what the hell are you talking about? It's all right. Take your time, dude. You got this.
I had a whole thing planned to say.
You should probably say that then. You know, you're just sitting here all quiet.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor doesn't know. Trevor doesn't know, everybody. Oh, Trevor just doesn't know. Trevor doesn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he thinks that if he just sits there and doesn't say anything for a long enough time, everyone will just forget about what they were talking about and move on. Either way, I don't know what Trevor thought was going to happen here. It seems like he's been completely blindsided with all of this. I can only assume that they don't have the best relationship if he's going on a dating reality show.
Guess I'll start by saying that I was not dating her technically. Like, I never said, "Will you be my girlfriend?" before.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter at this point because you said that you loved her and you wanted to get married to her. So if anything, that just makes you sound worse. All that really means is that you're admitting that none of that was true and you were just saying what she wanted to hear. How are we supposed to believe you at all now?
Obviously, we were close, but she knew she was the typical girl I'd go for in real life.
And this isn't real life, okay.
And I told her before, like, I want to go on this to try to experiment something else.
Again, it doesn't matter even if this is true because you didn't tell anybody about this the entire time, and this is pretty important information to omit. It's very obvious that he was just leading her on and wanted to keep all of this hidden.
I wanted to do this. Like, I wanted to meet somebody that I wouldn't go for in real life. This fucked up that I was acted like that with someone else right before going on and right after.
And during.
But I went in with the mindset of, like, I will find someone.
What exactly was your plan here, though? Because then if you find someone, the person that you've been leading on this whole time is probably not going to be very happy about that. The fact that he thought he would be able to keep all of this hidden in today's day and age is kind of hilarious. And also, I don't know why he keeps saying he wanted to go for someone he wouldn't go for in real life, because this is still real life.
You're saying "I love you"
Yes.
to this woman as you're entering the experiment, as you're entering the pods.
Yes.
So to say, "Oh, she wasn't really my girlfriend," you don't say "I love you" to someone you don't care about on
I
that
have
level.
before. I mean, I did care about her.
He just said, "I have before." Like, is that supposed to help his case? Oh, don't worry. I've told plenty of women that I love them even when I don't. So this isn't even out of the ordinary for me. Yo, Chels, back me up on this one. Come on. You know me. You remember the pods, right?
And I'll call out Chelsea directly because there was a moment there where she easily could have said, "Trevor, you are the one for me. You're my life partner." Unbeknownst to her, you have someone on the outside. You're telling...
And I would have been with Chelsea. I told her that.
So do you think he really would have been with Chelsea? I'm actually really curious to see what would have happened if she had chosen him instead. It's actually kind of amazing that he looks this bad despite ending up with nobody. If he had dragged somebody else through this mess, it would have been even worse. I think most of the people that didn't end up with somebody weren't even on the reunion, but Trevor's situation was so bad they just had to bring him out to roast the shit out of him.
Her and I were so fucking toxic.
So toxic that after you got out of the pods, you said, "I'm going to marry you"?
No, yes. I'm toxic as well. I admit that. Like,
everything he's saying is just digging him deeper and deeper. There really is no way out of this hole, so he's just gonna have to leave, but he refuses to do that. And if he knows he's this toxic and he has this weird toxic relationship with somebody else already, then why would he want to bring a new person into it? Man, if Chelsea was already having so many problems with Jimmy, can you imagine what it would have been like with Trevor? She would have torn this guy apart. If Jimmy makes you uncomfy, then what does Trevor make you?
I need a lot of, like, therapy. I went in with this of, like, I know I'm toxic. I know I need to fucking change. I don't know what you want me to say.
Line? Does anybody have my next line? I don't know what to say anymore. I thought it would make me less toxic if I came on here lying about everything, pretending to be a different person, but for some reason that didn't work. Can you imagine saying that out loud and expecting other people to hear that and think it makes sense?
I'll stay out of it, Pumpkin.
I definitely am not here to grill you by any means.
No, come on,
it didn't work
grill
out
him.
for us, and I had just this intuition of why I shouldn't have picked you.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
explain it. and now I can.
Now she's trying to say that she had intuition about the whole thing, but just the other day she was telling Trevor that she thinks they would have a great, fun life together, and that she thinks of him often, especially since her and Jimmy's relationship was not that great at the time. So then Trevor tries to explain that he really did fall in love with Chelsea and that he was an emotional wreck afterwards, and that's the only reason he went back to his ex.
I was myself in those pods. I hope you know that. And any clarity you need off camera, like,
No,
I will give
no,
to you.
don't
The only
believe
person
him.
that I owe any response
No.
to. If you need that, I will give it to you.
I appreciate you.
No, don't appreciate it. Appreciate what? What are you talking about? Anyway, that right there is the story of Trevor. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Hopefully we never have to see him again. I mean, I knew he probably wouldn't have much to say about everything, but man, that was really bad. Anyway, thank you so much everyone for watching. Maybe next time I'll get around to the new season of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching Trevor's implosion, and I'll see you next time.
I'm not listening.
Get away from the girl. Her and I are about to have the deepest conversation of our lives. Sorry about the mullet.
Yeah, what the hell?
Hell.